Get back to that breaking news. An earthquake south of Rancho Palos Verdes. It is a 4.1 magnitude now. It's gone back and forth between 3.9, 4.1. As we get more information, we're hearing that people felt it for a large geographic region. We're taking a look at the activity right now about that. And Paul, are you hearing anything else?
I'm just looking at this map expand as now more than updated. 2,895 people have responded to the USGS, likely through the app that Tina was talking about a couple minutes ago. Did you feel it? What was the intensity? The intensity was weak or light everywhere. That's what we want to hear. We don't want damage. But it was felt now as far north as Lancaster, over the San Gabriels, into the Antelope Valley. It was felt as far north and east as San Bernardino and Temecula. And now it was felt as far south as La Jolla in San Diego County and as far north as Oxnard. So the entire Southern California region felt this. More than 3,000 people responding to this 4.1 earthquake. Back to you.
Wow. All right. We want to head now to Jessica Turner. She is a geophysicist with the USGS. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Tell us what you know about this and put in perspective for us whether you expect more activity.
Oh, yeah. So as was said already, there was a magnitude 4.1 earthquake that occurred just before 8:30 California time today, and like it was said, it was pretty widely felt in the Southern California area. This area of California, as much of the rest of the state, does see a lot of earthquakes from time to time. I did a quick search of magnitude 4 and above earthquakes in about a 60-mile radius of today's earthquake, and there have been over 300 earthquakes with magnitude 4 and above in this area since 1900. So this isn't unfamiliar. I always try to remind people, if you do feel an earthquake, just make sure to look around you, make sure things are bolted to the wall, nothing will fall on you with really intense shaking. We probably won't see, we will see probably some smaller aftershocks with this earthquake. We do not know if it will lead to a bigger earthquake. That's just something that we cannot predict, but California especially is very prepared for earthquakes.
And tell us, overnight that we heard of a major earthquake in Japan, 7.5 there. Could there be any connection between this activity?
There's probably not connection, like direct connection, but both of these earthquakes are very close to the Ring of Fire. So, I mean, you know, we have that Pacific plate kind of moving at the different ends of the Pacific Ocean, but they're not directly related. They're too far apart for that to have been the case.
And when you say there could be more activity or possibly a bigger quake coming, that's not to be alarmist. It's just, you know, talking about the scientific phenomenon. What is the time frame typically? When can we maybe consider ourselves in the clear?
I think after maybe a couple of days. But again, it could be like a week or two later. We've seen that before with the Tohoku in Japan earthquake in 2011. There was like a 7.2 or magnitude 7 earthquake, like maybe a week or two before the 9.0 earthquake occurred. So, I mean, it just depends. Again, California is very prepared for large earthquakes. So, yeah, I would continue to tell Californians to just do what they're doing. You guys are the experts in this.
And Jessica, I actually have the MyShake app on my phone. It did give me an alert. How are we doing when it comes to early warning? Did you on your end hear or see anything before we actually felt the shaking?
Yes, so the early warning system did alert us about 2 minutes after the earthquake occurred. That's, of course, that doesn't give you a lot of time before the shaking comes, depending on where you are. So those people who were right near the earthquake maybe had 30 seconds, a minute to prepare for shaking, whereas the further out you go, you'll have a little longer to prepare for less intense shaking.
And this might be a good time just to remind everyone what to do if they feel an earthquake and what to do to prepare for an earthquake.
Right. So like I said before, definitely make sure to look around you in your home or your office building or wherever you may be. Just picture everything that you have up on the walls, like shelves, or if you have a large bookcase or large paintings. I mean, just look at your area to see if shaking would knock it off the wall and hit you in the head. We definitely want to protect our head when there's intense shaking going on. And then I would also say find a large desk, preferably a large wooden desk to kind of get underneath. And again, cover your head because you just want to protect that so that if injuries do occur, you'll be, of sound mind to kind of get yourself to safety. If you don't have a large desk to get under, I always tell people to go to their bedroom. If you have a headboard, just kind of get close to that headboard and hold on.
Well, it's always a good reminder when we have these to kind of look around our homes, have those conversations with our family members, so everybody kind of has that plan of what they do if there is another one and if there was a bigger one.
That's correct.
And do we know, sometimes we talk about whether it was, the type of earthquake, was it rolling, was it shaking? It kind of felt to me like there were, I felt a little shaking and then it subsided and then I felt it again.
Right, that can be a little normal, just again, depending on how close you are to the earthquake. Like maybe people in Huntington Beach could feel that. It's probably you felt the initial wave, what we call a P wave, and then the second wave is the S wave. The S wave is the one that usually causes the most damage just because it's much closer to the surface.
And it's interesting because here in the station, we felt it here on the anchor desk, but there were people in the basement who did not feel it. There were people in the control room who didn't feel it. We were all kind of confused initially as to whether this actually was what we thought it was.
Yes. That's how it is sometimes. Some people have no idea that an earthquake happened, and other people are like, how did you miss that? My water was shaking. So, yeah, I think people have different sensitivity levels.
Jessica, can you talk, because the earthquake is along the coast, when is there a concern with the waves, with possible tsunamis? This felt like maybe it wasn't strong enough to have an effect, but when would we worry?
Okay, so we would definitely worry for large tsunamis, and I'm talking like they can go across the entire ocean. For example, the Tohoku earthquake in 2011, it caused a tsunami that went from Japan all the way over to the west coast of the United States. For those types of tsunamis, we generally see them for shallow earthquakes, which are, maybe beneath 30 miles. And also for the magnitude, usually around magnitude 7, 7.2 and above is when we start to see large tsunamis.
Well, good. I know that the people on the coast are always a little worried when they hear about this and when they need to take action, because that's also something we have to think about since we live in this area.
Yeah, especially given the recent weather we've had. I mean, there were already warnings to stay off the coastlines. There was a storm. There was high tide with the full moon. Do any of those things play into each other, any of those kind of weather elements?
So they would definitely influence one another if a tsunami were to have occurred, just because it's already in flux. We may not be able to predict it very well. So again, just listen to your local authorities. If they say get away from the coast, please listen to them because they know what they're talking about.
Okay, well, luckily, it was a relatively small quake here, enough for a lot of people across Southern California, even into San Diego County, to feel it, but no reports of injuries or damage so far, just kind of a jolt as we head into 2024. Jessica, we really appreciate your time. Happy New Year to you, and thanks for waking up early to give us some information on this earthquake.
Yeah, and again, we